Way from here to there, but the telephone lines have closed the gap once more. And one of the numbers hanging up in the Memorial Coliseum as a retiree is former Comet defenseman and captain Terry Pembroke. T, it's been a long time since you've had the blades on, and you've still got an awful lot of followers and a lot of good memories around this town. What are you up to these days?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I got a lot of followers, they must be in wheelchairs. But anyway, and this is the legendary Bob Chase, right?
Whatever that
the
is.
Voice of. No, I'm doing good. And I think about you a lot, and how everybody's doing up there, and hello to all the old-time Comet hockey fans.
Of course, since you retired, quote-unquote, from hockey, that's been it as far as the blades are concerned, huh?
You know, actually, we were talking about that not too long ago with some people with the Dallas Stars over here. I haven't had a pair of skates on since the night I quit. In fact, my skates are off the bridge in front of the Three River Apartments at the bottom of the Three Rivers, or the Trinity. What's the name of that river down there? The Maumee River.
That's Maumee, yeah. Well, you know, it's a funny thing. I talked with Terry McDougall a couple of weeks ago, and I said to Doogie, have you skated? And he said, no, Bob, since the day I quit, I've never skated. He said, in fact, since the club quit buying skates, I haven't bought any for myself.
And that sounds just like McDougall.
That's about Doogie. You're getting a lot of hockey down in your area now, Terry, huh?
The interest down here has really peaked. Obviously, the Stars when they came to Dallas, and that was the start. But what really the base down here is Ray Murin put the Central League back together.
Right.
And you'd be surprised that it's kind of like an old-time IHL. The quality of hockey is, you know, like a minor pro or a low minor pro, but they have the equality of the league, and the price of the tickets has got the people out. They draw 6,000-7,000 people a night.
Well, it seems to be the thing to do these days. I know Houston will be in next year in the International Hockey League, and that's not that far from you.
No, it really isn't, and there's a lot of interest out in Houston. I get down there quite often. They still remember Gordie Howe.
That's right, the old Arrows, eh?
He used to play for Toledo, didn't he?
Well, you know, you look at the Toledos and the Grand Rapids and the Flints and the Port Hurons and the Saguenars, they're gone. You know, and the Muskegans, all the good old bus league days where all our memories really, I think, grew and had a great time. But the league today is just incredible from border to border and coast to coast.
Well, you know, you have to look at it from the point of view. We just pioneered that league for the kids that are in there now, and we probably opened up more spots, Monday meeting spots, than they've been able to, even by air, that they've been able to hit.
Yeah, but those Monday meeting spots we opened up for the reason that we could only afford the fare they had. These guys are making so much money these days they had for the country club.
They just buy their own.
Yeah, things have really changed. As far as looking back in, in retrospect on your hockey career, you can see what's happened to the game today. Are you sorry that you were born, say, 20 years too soon?
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, from a dollar viewpoint. But, you know, when I look out there now, and I think of all the old-timers and all of the barroom talk that goes on, these athletes are so much better trained, and I don't even know whether you could, without the training that they have now, we could never really compare. They're a different breed of athlete. I think a much better athlete.
Yeah, hockey and almost any sport, and hockey specifically, as I see it, is now a 12-month-a-year job. These guys are conditioning all the time.
Well, absolutely, and they get paid for 12 months of the year, as near as I can see.
Well, with the amounts,
I could get by on that $2 or $3 million for a year.
Well, even you get down to the IHL these days when a team like Peoria can sign a kid on for 5 years for $650,000. That's not bad.
Not at all. And, you know, he can buy his own bus to get to Fort Wayne. But, you know, it's a sign of the times, you know, and it's a sign of some far-reaching thinking in Peoria. You know, obviously what kept that league together in the first place was, you know, the returning of some familiar faces. And regardless of the cost, you know, they're still going to have to do that in order to keep the league pumping. Because you know what happens if you leave it all in the hands of the National League.
Amen. Yeah, spoken like an old trooper who's been nearly victimized a number of times in a lifetime of hockey, right, eh?
Once or twice.
Once or twice along the line. And, of course, you started out along with some of the other people who played with us at the time when there were only really 6 teams to play for. So your future was rather narrowly focused right at the top, wasn't it?
Well, that was one reason, the 6 teams, and the other was, in my case, I had this huge aversion to training, and it was more dedicated to what happened after the game, and the opportunities just weren't there. I don't think it's changed a whole lot. I think the kids now that dedicate themselves to the game, there's obviously a lot more jobs opened up, but it takes some fortitude to get to the top.
Have you, at this point in time, been around the game down there to a point where you'd like to be a part of it?
Well, actually, it's odd that you should mention that, because I'm cowboyed out. I'm starting to cripple up. I can't get up in those cold mornings. And I have looked into the fact I would like to get back into hockey, especially I really don't want to leave Texas. And I had talked to the Stars when they came in, but it was rather late. And they had suggested the Central League, and I had visited with Ray Muir, and I just didn't see a place for me in the Central League, but I'm really interested in what's going on in Houston, and we'll probably make some overtures there, because my kids are all graduated. Since hockey came back, I feel a yearning to get back in the game.
Even without skates,
especially
without skates, indeed. Well, I know I had the opportunity to meet the Houston owner. I don't know much beyond that, but apparently he's a very well-organized man who is no stranger to sports promotion, and it might be just one heck of a spot if he could get involved.
Well, like I said, I'm going to look into that here the next week, and I'll probably be calling you to see who the powers that be are down there. I haven't really looked into it yet. I just found out not too long ago that they were coming in the league.
I know one thing we talked about last we were on the phone was your daughter, and she's quite an actress, I understand. How are things going?
She is. As you know, she won a worldwide scholarship to go to AMDA, which is the training ground for the musical theater in New York City. She graduated from there 2 weeks ago with 2 or 3 major job offers to work on Broadway, and opted to come back to Texas because she missed everybody. So she's going to go to SMU, Southern Methodist University, and finish up her academic work and work out of the theaters here, the Metroplex, and then go back to New York.
Sounds like she's really hit it just exactly the way you want her, eh?
She's home. Daddy's little girl is home, see, but now I get to go play.
So your cowboy days are kind of coming to an end, you think?
Well, actually not. I just put together a set of horses. I'm going back out on the road this summer.
What are you gonna go out in competition?
So, yeah. Now that Tara's all straightened around, I've been off for about 2 years. We still ranch a little bit down here, and it's funny because when I got your call, that's where I was in the middle of a pasture, hunting down an errant calf. But yeah, I am. I'm going back out on the road for this summer. I kind of missed it, and in fact, I'm going to make the tour up to the Midwest again. And like I said, I wanted to mention, if Robbie Irons is listening to this, that I want to thank them all for the invitation I got to come up there for the Legends hockey game. I haven't been off my place for 2 years. I had 3 days of partying planned. We were going to hit all the old spots in Indiana. It would be like Medicare a go-go. And nobody even called me. I'm hurt.
What I'll call Skinny right now and tell him to be sure to listen tonight because there's a message for him.
That's the message.
Well, I'm telling you would have enjoyed it all. It's a far cry from what's happened in the past in terms of All-Star games. It's probably as lustrous as the National Hockey League All-Star games are now, Terry. Things have really changed. You just don't drive down in the car, put your skates on, grab a sandwich and a beer, and jump in the car and go home anymore.
Really? You probably have to show up to the game coherent, too, right?
Yeah, that's another one of the things, I guess.
Steve Lyons and I would never make it.
Not at all on down the line, eh? So, well, it's just a case of you're certainly one of the memories, and you've got a big number hanging up there. And people still say, when we talk old-timers and what's going on, what do you know about Terry Pembroke? Where's Terry these days? And I say, all I know is he's in Texas, and I think maybe he's cowboying. But back to that, this is quarter horses you're talking about going on tour with.
Actually, yeah, it's cutting horse. It hasn't changed any. And that sport's really taken off, and it's become a huge sport nationwide. And I've been out of the competition editor. I've been working, as you know, out of the stockyards in Fort Worth. We still have the rodeo and everything down there.
Oh, yeah.
But I just missed the competition part of it, so we're going to get, I've kind of been waiting for my last child to get out of school.
Yeah.
She's done it. And
now you can hit the road, huh?
Time for me to be gone.
Do you ride your own stock, or do you contract and show?
No, I ride all my own stuff.
And you train them from scratch and ride them?
Yeah, the majority of them. Everybody, it's like anything else. I have lots of people that I go to for advice. I don't know everything, but it's kind of fun, and it's just an expensive hobby and a way to stay out there in competition.
You had a pretty darn high national ranking here a few years back.
Actually, I was reserve champion of the world in 1988. We hauled real hard, and it worked out, and I was pretty happy about that. I would have liked to have made it world champion, but I might do that yet.
See, as long as it isn't the bones, it's the mind that stays young, and as long as you can stay there and squeeze tight enough to hang on, who knows what's going to happen.
Well, it's actually clean living.
There, I know that. And
I was always a champion of that.
And one thing I noticed the last time I saw Terry was the fact that he has never gone gray. He just went white.
I passed gray about 30 years ago.
You went straight to white, eh?
But it's still there.
That's what counts. If you can keep it growing, that's the thing that really counts. Well, we miss you around here at times, there's no doubt about it, and that's an oversight we'll get on irons for immediately about how come no All-Star, eh?
That's it.
And you're going to be possibly in the Midwestern area.
I'm going to get back up there. If you get past the first 2 rounds, I'm coming up to see you.
Are you really?
Yes.
Just for that, we're liable to do it.
Okay.
If it's half as exciting as last year, I think you'd just love to come in and see a couple of games.
And to Parker Sheldon, wherever he is up there, tell him it only takes me 3 aspirins to get out of bed in the morning.
Terry, appreciate your time and the call back, and my pleasure to have you going here on Comet Corner tonight. And we'll get that 3rd round just to make sure you have to spend $1 to get up here and watch this fella.
I'll be there.
Thanks. You take care, be good, and maybe we'll see you around the Midwest riding, eh?
Good enough.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Bye, Robert.
All right, that's our story with Terry Pembroke, and as you can tell, Pemmer has changed very little from the good old days when he was the raging bull of the Pampas here, along with Cal Purinton and some of the other guys, and we pulled him right off the range. I don't know whether he was sitting on a horse or in a chair when we did.